strange thing the first time we cut him out. Realize we're nothing but sacks of meat and blood and some bone to keep it all standing. Let me thank you ahead of time, guarding us all from the perils beyond the wall, wildlings and white walkers and whatnot. We're grateful to have good, strong men like you protecting us.
In this Game of Thrones theory video, I'm going to explain why Jon Snow and Jaime Lannister are two sides of the same story. Jaime Lannister and Jon Snow have two of the most interesting story arcs in the Song of Ice and Fire, and both have experienced very similar parallels that are very hard to ignore. I feel like these characters are set up in the series to be almost exact polar opposites, Jaime donning the white cloak of the Kingsguard, and Jon Snow donning a black cloak of the Night's Watch. Jaime has chose love over duty time and time again, while Jon has often chose duty over love. Jaime was the heir to Casterly Rock, one of the most wealthy and powerful houses in Westeros before taking his vows to serve in the Kingsguard, and Jon Snow was the bastard of Ned Stark, who stood to inherit nothing despite secretly being the true-born heir of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. They have both been influenced by legends of their own stories. Jaime learned from Sir Barristan Selmy, and Jon from Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, Sir J.R. Mormont. Both were disillusioned by the reality of the Kingsguard and the Night's Watch, and yet despite failure, both became Lord Commanders of the Kingsguard and the Night's Watch. Which brings me to the importance of their names and titles, and who they are perceived to be. Something that the two of them share is the stigma of being a bastard or a Kingslayer. We get that Jaime the Kingslayer, the man who protected 500,000 people from Mad King Aerys Targaryen, got the short end of the stick despite doing what was right. And Jon has a similar plot narrative where he understands that if he doesn't save the wildlings and get them south beyond the wall, that the Night King will make his army of the undead infinitely larger, to a point where the critical mass of his power may very well be too much to handle. Both of these decisions get ripped apart by the people they command, where Jaime loses the thing he values most, his honor, and Jon loses the love and companionship he has been seeking his whole life, getting stabbed and betrayed by the Brothers of the Night's Watch. Jaime and Jon share a lot in common with the values such as honor, and they both would rather fight alone or make themselves the sacrifice. It relates back to the wise words of Maester Aemon: duty is the death of love, and love is the death of duty. And this is reflected within the interactions of Jon and Ygritte and Jaime and Brienne. Jon and Jaime have very similar romances, and they start out in clear opposition of both Ygritte and Brienne. Jaime being tied to Brienne with orders from Catelyn Stark, and Jon infiltrating the wildlings and getting attached to Ygritte. Yet despite their differences, Jon and Jaime both end up saving their lives, with Jaime saving Brienne from the bear pit and Jon saving Ygritte during the climb of the wall. But as we know, Jon chooses duty over love and returns to the Night's Watch, and Ygritte dies in his arms in battle, and Jaime chooses to return to King's Landing to serve in the Kingsguard so he can be closer to Cersei for love. There are distinct differences, but the parallels are very important because it will affect their transformation period or rebirth. Which leads me to the foreshadowing through the parallel dreams that we see in the books that may give us a clue why both of them may be Azor Ahai. Let's start with Jaime. Jaime dreams of Casterly Rock, presumably of the Hall of Heroes, where the Lannister kings of old are buried. Jaime: what is this place? Your place, the voice echoed. It was 100 voices, 1,000, the voices of all the Lannisters since Lan the Clever, who lived at the dawn of the days. But most of all was his father's voice, and beside Lord Tywin stood his sister, pale and beautiful, a torch burning in her hand. Stay with me, Jaime pleaded. Don't leave me here alone. But they were leaving. Don't leave me in the dark. Something terrible lived down here. The water flooded in his boots ankle deep and bitterly cold. Beware the water, he told himself. There may be creatures living in it, hidden in the deeps. Why am I going down? Below the earth his doom awaited. He knew with certainty of the dream something dark and terrible lurked there, something that wanted him. Jaime tried to halt, but their spears prodded on him. They were all armored in snow, it seemed to him, and ribbons of mist swirled from their shoulders. The visors of their helms were closed, but Jaime Lannister did not look upon their faces to know them. 5 had been his brothers: Oswell Wenton, John Derry, Lewin Martell, Prince of Dorne, the White Bull Gerald Hightower, and Sir Arthur Dane, the Sword of the Morning. And beside them, crowned in mist and grief with his long hair streaming behind him, rode Rhaegar Targaryen, Prince of Dragonstone and rightful heir to the Iron Throne. As he raised his sword, a finger of pale flame flickered at the point and crept up along the edge, stopping a hand's breadth from the hilt. The fire took on the color of the steel itself, so it burned with a silvery blue light, and the gloom pulled back. This is not the exact sequence that we see within the books of the dreams going down, but I thought it was very interesting to read it like this because it's almost a carbon copy of what Jon sees in his dream. Jon. And then I find myself in front of the door to the crypts. It's black inside, and I can see the steps spiraling down. Somehow I know I have to go down there, but I don't want to. I'm afraid of what might be waiting for me. The old kings of winter are down there, sitting on their thrones with stone wolves at their feet and iron swords across their laps. But it's not them I'm afraid of. I scream that I'm not a Stark, that this isn't my place, but it's no good and I have to go anyway. So I start down, feeling the walls as I descend, with no torchlight to light the way. It gets darker and darker until I want to scream. He stopped, frowning and embarrassed. That's when I always wake. And this relates to the other vision he has when he's fighting the others on the wall. The burning shafts hiss upward, trailing tongues of fire. Scarecrow brothers tumbled down, black cloaks ablaze. Snow and Eagle cried as foemen scuttled up the ice like spiders. Jon was armored in black ice, but his blade burned red in his fist. As the dead men reached the top of the wall, he sent them down to die again. He slew a gray beard and a beardless boy, a giant, a gaunt man filled with teeth, a girl with thick red hair. Too late he recognized Ygritte. She was gone as quick as she had appeared. This sounds very much like the description of the Red Sword of Heroes, which belonged to Azor Ahai, and which Azor Ahai is reborn and is supposed to carry. Which is interesting because both characters seem to have the same interactions in their dreams and also carry Valyrian steel within the story. The internal conflict is huge within both of these characters, and it could lead to truth and I believe rebirth. Both of them dream of taking their oaths but later come to regret them. Both feel a victim of circumstance. Both are chosen as a Lord Commander and have complex feelings about it, and both boys die within them. I believe both are switching their cloaks, and I believe they will both have to work together to become Azor Ahai reborn. While sleeping with his head resting on a weirwood stump, Sir Jaime Lannister has fever dreams. In part of his dream, he sees 5 old Kingsguard brothers under King Aerys II Targaryen. Beside them, crowned in mist and grief and with long hair streaming behind him, rides Rhaegar Targaryen, the Prince of Dragonstone and rightful heir to the Iron Throne. Prince Rhaegar burns with a cold light, now white, now red, now dark, and he tells Jaime, "I left my wife and children in your hands." Jaime replies to Rhaegar that he never thought his father, Tywin Lannister, would hurt his family. Is it possible that Jaime Lannister will finally be able to protect the trueborn heir to the Iron Throne in Jon Snow? And do you think it's possible that Azor Ahai is 2 people? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and let's keep this discussion going. Episode number 4 of the Citadel of Hype podcast is live on Gemma's channel, Secrets of the Citadel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you go subscribe. And I have also created a playlist with all 4 episodes for easy listening for all of you Throners. The link is in the description of this video. We also now have Azor Hype merch, everyone, for sale with Azor Hype t-shirts for men and women. There's a great selection of different colors and sizes, as well as Azor Hype mugs. I like to drink wine out of mine. The link is also in the description of this video. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We are only 150 away from 18,000. We keep on growing strong and spreading like wildfire. And you should also consider becoming a patron on Patreon. There's new and exclusive bonus content each and every day. And we've added 37 people to the Hype and Love family this month. And we hit my goal of 80 patrons. Thank you so much for your support. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Hype and Love.
Fuck the king.
How much for your little plan?
Voices,